Welkom by vanaand se uitsending van Fokus. Goeienaand, ek is Lenet Francis Puren. 'n 36-jarige man is verlede week in hegtenis geneem in verband met luukse huise in die noorde van Johannesburg, wat die afgelope 2 jaar aan die brand gesteek is. Alfred Maputa het reeds in die hof verskyn en staan tereg op meer as 20 aanklagte van brandstigting, moord en huisbraak. Die moordklag spruit uit die dood van 'n bejaarde man wat beswyk het aan sy beserings wat hy tydens die brand by sy huis opgedoen het. Tydens sy hofverskyning die week het dit aan die lig gekom dat die beskuldigde uit was op parool tydens die voorvalle. Hy is in 2014 aan huisbraak skuldig bevind en tot 9 jaar tronkstraf gevonnis. Hy is later op parool vrygelaat. Fokus het in Mei vanjaar oor die brande en die verwoesting berig. Fokus se Wanneer van der Heever het by André Snyman van die teenmisdaadgroep E-Blockwatch gaan uitvind hoe een van Johannesburg se mees gesoekte vermeende misdadigers aangekeer is.
Message to say, I know who the person is that you're looking for. Then I realized from what the person was saying, there's some very relevant stuff that not the average person would know. So that is when I contacted, because I don't go out there and arrest people. I'm just an information portal. I get information, I hand it to, I'm like a central and asseblief. You give me the stuff, dan stuur ek en I'll put you through to the right person. So I contacted Mr. Bartman from Fidelity and I sent him a message and I said to him, I think I've got some relevant information here and I think this is very important that it gets checked up because I'd hate to have this information and it slipped through our fingers. He immediately contacted his person who's in charge of the specialized intervention unit. That person contacted me and he contacted the team. And from the information that I gave him, obviously he's more privy to a lot more of the information. Okay? A lot more of the information. He then assembled the big team, the team that had been on the ground crew. So you must understand now we've got security companies, you've got the police and a whole lot of teams working together to catch this guy. They've obviously got a very close relationship, which I don't even know these people. And they went out to observe this. This is now on the Sunday. And up until 12 o'clock that night, eventually I said, good night, I'm out of here. And they were very professional. They stayed at their distance. And eventually I said to him, I don't want to waste your time. Are you sure this is good? This is right? And they said, this is very good information. So then I got excited. Anyway, I went to sleep. The next morning I woke up and then this person started talking to me with more information. When are they coming, etc., etc. And I presume in the background, and I don't have privy to this, they were observing the situation. And I think that is what actually happened from the Sunday, and I think it was on the Tuesday they arrested this person. They were now getting a whole lot of information and doing background checks on this person to see whatever. And I think they were very good at what they did. They collectively went out and they put their badges aside, and they went out as one unit with the security companies and the police and all the teams went there and they arrested the guy.
Hoe seker is ons dat dit die regte persoon is, dat hy eintlik die brandstigter is?
The information that I've got, I gave through to them. And from what I knew, it sounded like the right guy. Then I handed it through to them and I know that if it's a Sunday night, and the guys jump up and they get in their vehicles and they drive through to the area and they spend the night there and they spend the next day doing stuff. And 48 hours later on, they arrest the guy. Then I'm sure they've got all their ducks in a row. You know, I think that we've got the right person this time. There's so many things that says he is the right person. In the beginning, it was very difficult because they were pushing back to say, don't interfere. This is fake news, and you don't know whether they say that just because they think they're going to catch the guy. But if they say don't interfere and it takes them 2 years to catch the guy, obviously they weren't really had a lot of information. So they should have, and they always ask the community to get involved. And, you know, I've got 100,000 members that feed me information. It's a perfect community project to get people involved. But they work in silos. So the police and the security companies work in a hierarchy. They have the top guy and then the lieutenants and everybody along the way. But I think that if we collaborated and instead of working in silos, this guy would have been caught a long time ago. And that is exactly why we let it out against the will of the security companies and the police. We let it out to the media because my loyalty lies with my members. And my members, I forewarn them of crimes. I tell them what is actually happening out there. The police would rather let it happen again so they can catch the guy. So their motive is the more crimes there are, the more dots there are, the better they can catch the guy. And unfortunately, a man died eventually. And we said, we're going to let go out to the public because somebody is going to die. And somebody did die. But, you know, it's no good pointing fingers. I think it's just a learning process. We must all get together. We must stop fighting each other, like trying to be the heroes of who done it, who caught the guy, who's the, you know, whatever. Let's work together. I think that's the most important thing. And if we do that, we'll get somewhere.
Die verdagte, Alfred Maputa, het verlede week kort na sy arrestasie in die Randburg Landrooshof verskyn. Die saak is egter tot die week uitgestel.
Now the police say that there are 20. I see that there are 20 charges of arson against him. And I'm sure that's the tip of the iceberg because I'm sure other people will come forward and say, yes, that guy or whatever. So there are 20 cases. There's I think it's diefstal, burglary, there's arson, there's murder. So if this guy gets, if they're successful in prosecuting him, I think he's going to be there for a long time.
Net hierna kyk ons weer na die gebeure die afgelope 2 jaar toe die huise in Johannesburg se gegoede noordelike voorstede afgebrand is. Bly ingeskakel. Welkom terug. Fokus het in Mei vanjaar berig oor die brande by huise in die luukse buurte in die noorde van Johannesburg. Ons het vroeër met Andre Snyman gepraat oor die inhegtenisname van die brandstigter na 2 verwoestende jare, toe meer as 20 huise verwoes en 1 huiseienaar selfs met sy lewe geboet het. Ons kyk nou terug op die gebeure en hier's 'n kort uittreksel uit Wanneer van die Heever se program van Mei vanjaar.
In the beginning, he used to go for houses that weren't occupied. But recently he's gone for the elderly people that are in the houses. But the elderly people in the area seem to be the targets because they're easy. Once he's got into their home and they happen to be there, he's in control of the situation. The old people are petrified in this area. I mean, you got to think about it. Here they are sitting there very vulnerable. This guy, I think, doesn't only set houses on fire. I think he started off as a thief. He's a very casual guy. He knows, he's very confident. Before he burns the house, you can see this is the bar. He's actually had a whole lot of drinks in here, had a party in here. Some houses he has a party and then he drinks and then he eats, even goes and cooks himself some food. Then when he's ready, he sets the place on fire. And we believe that he actually sits at a distance and watches the house burn because everybody comes to put the fire out and he sits and watches it. And we have proof of that from stuff that he's taken from a house and we found it in the neighbor's house that while he's sitting there eating and drinking while the fire's on. So we are creating a profile. And you can see the destruction. I mean, these houses are old houses. I don't know what this house would go for, maybe, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 million, and the other houses as well. So you're looking at, millions of rands that has been destroyed. The one old couple, he locked them in the room and said, you're going to die. And he locked them in and he pushed off. Luckily, the neighbors managed to pull the old couple out of the window at the bottom. The other one here in Houghton, the Fidelity security guard managed to break the burglar proofing and they pulled him out there. They had to go to the neighbors.
Andre vermoed dat die vermeende brandstigter ander gebiede gaan teiken as hy nie binnekort vasgetrek word nie.
Don't think the guy can't get in a taxi and go to another place and stop. I think that maybe he's got a grudge about the wealth because these are wealthy homes. I mean, there's no cheap homes that he's burnt. And maybe he gets pleasure out of seeing people suffer. Maybe it's maybe these old homes burn nicely because a lot of them have got a lot of wood in them. And like this place has got chandeliers and it's got wooden staircases and wooden windows. There's some houses that he's burnt that not that old, but they're expensive homes. And I think he just gets a kick out of seeing expensive homes go up because it's a power kick.
'n Bejaarde egpaar wat deur die vermeende brandstigter in Desember 2021 aangeval en wie se huis aan die brand gesteek is, het ingestem om met ons te praat, maar wou anoniem bly uit vrees vir hulle lewe.
Dit was 'n Saterdag, ons het inkopies gaan doen. Ons is so 2 uur terug huis toe. En ons het gesien dat iemand het aan die sleutels en die deure gedoen. Hulle is gekrap. En ons het vir ons vriende gebel en gesê ons vermoed daar is iemand in die huis. Maar hulle het gesê hulle kan nie onmiddellik kom nie. Ons het ingegaan, ons het eers koffie gedrink en dan het my vrou besluit om slaapkamer toe te gaan. En toe sy daar gaan, toe sien sy daar is 'n man wat staan. En hy het begin om haar te slaan. Hy het 'n stok in die huis gekry en hy het ook 'n brandblusser gehad wat ons in die huis het. En hy het die brandblusser gebruik om haar blind te maak. En sy het dit weerstaan. Sy het dan geskreeu vir my naam en ek het afgekom. Ek het hom gesien. Hy het my met die brandblusser ook lekker gesprei en dan het hy 'n stoel opgeneem en gevang. En die stoel in my rigting geslaan. Dit het my op die kop getref. Ek het geval op my rug. En as 'n ouerige man, dis baie moeilik om op te staan. En hy het aanhou my vrou slaan. En toe skielik sit hy 'n brandblusser aan die brand en steek die klere in die kamer aan die brand. En toe stap hy uit en hy sê, you will die now, I have set the fire. Hy het niks gesteel nie. Hy het net die huis aan die brand gesteek. Hy het 'n gesig gehad soos die normale Caucasian, maar hy was nie blanke persoon nie. Hy was, die gesig was, soos ek sê, soos 'n normale Caucasian. Hy het nie dik lippe gehad of so iets nie. Plat neus en hy was studente aangetrek.
A lot of these individuals, these serial arsonists, feel inside they feel psychologically they feel very inadequate. So as much as they are, and that's why sort of they're committing crimes that make them feel in control, in power. But I think that may be linked to the fact that he's targeting older people, may be perhaps related to things that have happened in his past. So it might be that he's had a sort of felt abused by older people in his life. So that's why he's targeting them. But I think from a practical point of view, I think maybe he feels he's more able to subdue an older person than maybe someone his own age or middle-aged.
Kan brandstigters gerehabiliteer word?
With difficulty. Because the problem is when you have a serial offender of any kind, serial rapist, serial killer, serial arsonist, those patterns are very ingrained in who they are and their identity. So the likelihood is very high that he would reoffend. It would all depend on, and the problem with this case is that there's a lot of really sadistic elements. So you've got he's not killing them and then burning. He's actually subduing them, trapping them in the house and enjoying seeing them almost die in this space. So that would indicate an individual that's got quite limited capacity for empathy, for sort of a conscience, a moral compass, and those kinds of individuals are very hard to rehabilitate. So, because those are fundamental parts of a person that are, the foundations are laid very early in life, and it's quite difficult. So, if he genuinely was remorseful, if he was psychotic, which I don't think is the case here, it's too well planned, then you can kind of say, well, there was another reason. But here it's sort of fundamental to his personality. So I think in this case, it doesn't look like rehabilitation would help, and he probably needs to be incarcerated.
Bly ingeskakel, net hierna besoek ons die Noord-Kaap waar oogkundige mense met katarakte help. Ons is nou terug. Romslomp met vervoer en administrasie verhoed dat mense van Namakoland wat in Kimberley dringend katarakte moet laat verwyder, die nodige hulp kry. Nou het 'n oogkundige van Springbok besluit om te help. Darien Skuman het 'n nie-regeringsorganisasie, Caring for Sight, op die been gebring en tesame met oogspesialiste mense in nood begin help. Tot op hede is meer as 30 mense se katarakte in Upington suksesvol verwyder, maar daar is nog steeds meer as 200 op die waglys. Regisseur Keith Seister het by 'n paar van die mense wie se katarakte reeds verwyder is, gaan inloer.
Om bloot net te kan sien is 'n voorreg. Maar hier in Namakoland is daar baie mense wat rondloop met katarakke op hulle oë en wat hulle sig baie belemmer. Maar 'n nie-regeringsorganisasie, Caring for Sight, hier in Namakoland help baie mense om van hierdie katarakke ontslae te raak en dis vir hul sig terug te kry. Sofia Bekes woon op Kamieskroon buite Springbok. Sy sukkel reeds vanaf 2007 met erge katarakke op beide van haar oë, maar in Julie vanjaar het haar lewe en sig handomkeer verander.
Dit was nou van 2007 af, maar dit was toen nog nie so vererger, het ek maar ook na die oogarts gegaan, 'n bril gekry, 'n tweede bril gekry, maar toe kom ek agter, hier moet 'n ander fout wees. En dat ek mos maar so geloop, en toe het ek op die radio, ek kan nou net nie onthou wanneer, op Namakoland dinge gehoor van Tarina, wat by Springbok oogkundige is. En ek het vir my 'n afspraak gemaak, en ek het gegaan. Ek dink dit was in April 2022. Het ek gegaan vir 'n afspraak en die 10de Julie 2022 toe was ek nou weg en sy het my nou ook gebevestig as katarak en sy het my naam op die lys gesit. Toe ek moet ingaan, word toe goed afgehaal, maar hier my olie, dit sit so vas. En ek is so bang, sal ek nou kan sien, oh, wat gaan nou aan? Hulle het nou my oogie so nat gemaak en opgemaak. Maar toe die ding af is, toe sê ek, halleluja, suster, ek sien nou hier so jy lyk. En ek het geraas.
Lorraine Damon van Bersig kan nou na haar operasie weer maklik lees en sonder die hulp van haar kinders en familie in en om die huis loop.
Die loop was baie moeilik, want ek moes voetjie vir voetjie geloop het. Want hulle het gedink, ek het 'n rugprobleem. Maar dit is hoe ek gefokus is om nie te val nie. Dan op daar, wanneer dit mistig is, kon ek glad na die beweeg. Ek moes weer eens vir Tiziano sê, kom en ek vat jy my net oor die pad. As ek 'n boek opmaak, dan is dit net swart voor my. Jy kan nie die letters sien nie, jy kan nie die syfers sien nie. Jy kan niks sien nie. Soos ek sê, as ek gegaan het, ek moes vir haar my pin gegee om by die verskillende plekke te betaal. So daar is niks sig wat jy het. Vanuit die katarak af is. Dit is 'n wonderlike gevoel. Jy kan net die Here dankie sê, dat hy jou daai kans gegee het. En vir Darien, vir ons gestuur het. So, meneer Seister, dit was 'n wonderlike gevoel.
Vir Gerrit Koopman was dit bloot om te kon loop 'n groot struikelblok.
En veral by die voertuie, dus die terug, die reverse, dan gee ek sommer die spieël ook skuld, hy is te veel. Maar dan klim ek uit die voertuig en dan gaan kyk ek by die spieël. Maar as ek met die oog wat nou nog kon oplet sien, wat toen nou nog kon gesien het, dan sien ek maar die spiel, as is die spiel se skuld. Dit is definitief iets te doen met my oë op die 10de Julie, toe het hulle my oog gedoen in Appington.
Nou, toe die oog nog gedoen was, hoe dit gevoel vir u?
Dat amper gesmaak ek kon in die lug spring, man. Dit gevoel van my, hier is 'n nuwe oog ingesit na die toe. Want dit alles is net, ek kon ver sien nou. Ek het vir meer as 6 maande, omtrent 9 maande kon ek nie sien met die oog.
Tarin Skuman is vir meer as 10 jaar 'n oogkundige op Springbok. Volgens haar moes sy inspring om te help om mense se sig weer terug te kry. Dis hoe Caring for Sight die lig gesien het. En tot nou het meer as 30 mense met erge katarakprobleme hulp gekry.
Kies, wel, as hulle vir daai operasies gegaan het, hulle het hulle sig teruggekry, onafhanklikheid teruggekry en hulle menswaardigheid. Ek het vroeër in die week een van die pasiënte gesien wat geopereer is. Dit was 'n dag na die operasie en sy persoonlikheid het handomkeer verander. Baie meer opgewek, hy het meer confidence en 'n mens kan sommer net sien hy het 'n huppel in sy stap. Vir ons om operasies te kan doen vir die pasiënte wat nog op ons waglys is ons heeltemal afhanklik van donasies en befondsing. Ons het plaaslike besighede wat vir ons bydraes maak, donasies al gegee het. Partye is donasies wat hulle op 'n maandelikse basis vir ons iets bydra. Ons het byvoorbeeld die We Care for Sight campaign waar plaaslike besighede 'n maandelikse bedrag vir ons kan gee om ons te ondersteun. En dan natuurlik is daar ander instansies waar ons aansoek doen vir befondsing en ons hoop om sukses te hê met daai aansoeke. Dr. Jonathan Pons van the Good Shepherd Eye Clinic, hy het vir ons tot dusver die 30 pasiënte geopereer. Hy en sy span is fantasties en hulle gaan uit hulle pad uit om ons en Namakolandse mense te help.
En ons is saam met hulle bly en ek hoop die ander kan ook binnekort gehelp word. Dis al vir vanaand. Onthou, indien jy die uitsending misloop, Fokus is steeds op YouTube beskikbaar. Ons groet tot volgende Woensdag aand om 7. Tot dan, mooi bly. Totsiens.